So welcome to Artlook Map SWPA, Southwestern PA. And you are invited to join us in this new regional initiative. And so what is the Artlook Map? So I won't read this whole thing, but I will read the first sentence because I think it gets to the core of what we're trying to do here. So Artlook Southwestern Pennsylvania is a free online resource created to help educators in our region immerse young people in powerful, personally relevant arts learning opportunities. So we are really looking to connect schools and arts partners and have a visual and snapshot of the data available so we can see and know what arts education looks like in our region. Okay. And here is one of the ways that we got to do this work. So the Artlook Map is a platform that was created by an organization called Ingenuity based in Chicago. And so we've been working with Ingenuity for a number of years now. And our executive director, Yael Silk, actually also worked as a consultant with them for some time previously. And so we are very close with Ingenuity and have been working with them for a long time to bring the map. The map also I just wanted to mention this before I get into this part, but the map was started in Chicago. Ingenuity started it with Chicago Public Schools. And now the map is also present in cities and states like Jacksonville, Florida, Maryland, Portland, New Orleans, Houston, Sacramento, and now Southwestern PA. We started this journey through a collective impact process with a number of community arts partners and school districts who are listed here. These are our planning partners. So you may see a lot of familiar logos and organizations here. And it was important to us to have a wide range of organizations, a diverse group of organizations and schools that were really lending a hand to help us understand what the map could do for Southwestern PA or where the needs are specifically for our region. We also had another wonderful group of individuals support the process a little later on through a working group. Some of these individuals work for the organizations from the Collective Impact Project, but we're really grateful for them. And these individuals really helped us get into the nitty gritty. So they helped us to fine tune and make changes to survey questions. That helped us think about language, helped us think about equity and how it shows up in the survey and in our profiles and in how we roll out the map. And so we're immensely grateful to these folks for their support for helping us with that. So why? So we want to give you a quick snapshot of these are some of the benefits that we see that Artlook is addressing on a broader level, but then also more fine-tuned. So for cities and counties and in our state, we have created an infrastructure that we can access data for collective impact work. And ultimately, we're really hoping to increase collaboration, foster collaboration, communication, and accountability. So these are sort of some of the broader benefits we see to the community. For our funders, we're hoping that this can maybe help our funders do targeted funding strategies to advance equity in their funding processes, see data on grantees' impact in real time, and be able to work towards streaming grant applications and reporting for our partners and for schools. For backbone organizations like AEC, who serves as an intermediary, this is sector-wide, setting sector-wide goals, advocacy agendas. We are helping to be able to see more in a visually, but just in a more obvious way where the gaps are, where some schools may be doing well or not, where partners are struggling to make connections and partnerships, and be able to really provide some real support in that way to accelerate process for schools and arts agencies. And when they say arts agencies here, we mean our organizations, even our teaching artists and individuals. And for schools, we want this to help schools build and maintain strong arts programs with public accountability. So it offers a way for us to see progress over the years and how schools and districts are making changes and investments in their arts education, how we can see where partnerships are happening and changing, and we can secure those partnerships and resources that are specific to the needs of each school. And for arts partners, we hope that this helps to reduce staff time, right? And when you're trying to sort of shop your program around and have high visibility of what your programs are doing and how they're serving young people, this helps you to connect with the schools that are directly looking for your kinds of programs. So one of the things you'll see as we look through the profiles is schools can indicate what kinds of support or what kinds of programs that they're interested in pursuing. So if they have a robust music program, but not so much in dance and theater or other subjects, they can pursue partners in those areas. We hope that this will help organizations market their programs to schools and funders and to the public in general. You can use your profile to show different kinds of information about your programs that might not be on your website, for example. And then again, we're hoping to help this reporting time when it comes to our grant proposals and reports. So what does it look like for the reporting that's happening through artlook map to really help cut down on the time that you have to spend to pull that information together for your reports and proposals. And then also, we'll talk a little bit more about reports later, but we also hope that those reports can be shared with other stakeholders, with board members, parents, community members, again, to help folks understand what your programs are doing and who they're reaching and all of those who are making the good work happen. So one of the things that's really unique about the school survey and the school profile is that there are two sets of data that we collect to make those profiles complete. And one set is administrative data or PIMS data that schools or districts will report to the Pennsylvania Department of Education. A few months ago, our team submitted a right to know request to the Pennsylvania Department of Ed to have access to this administrative data for the schools in the counties that we listed earlier. And fortunately, that request was approved. So yay, small victories in that we are now able to have that administrative or PIMS data that is provided to the Pennsylvania Department of Ed. So it just takes that piece of the labor off of our school liaisons. And so the liaisons can now just more so focus on what is specifically happening in their school building. And so that's just a piece to know. Each school that we're working with on the map, so even if you're from a school district, we request that each school is assigned its own liaison. The liaison will serve as a point of contact for our team, but also for the community for how to engage with your school on the map. And they will also be responsible for completing the annual survey and pulling the data from other team members that are needed to make it complete. So, you might have to go to one teacher or another to find out what's happening in particular classes. But we recommend that each school has one liaison to be that representative. So, this is one of the questions you'll find in the survey, talking about an individualized assessment of school needs. So again, wanting to understand from the school perspective what they're most looking for: arts integration and assistance, culturally responsive arts education support, curriculum planning, equity, anti-racism training for staff, social emotional learning, remote learning assistance, trauma-informed instruction support. So these are just some of, this is the list that we pull from, just trying to understand what kind of support schools are looking for. And this allows, and then the school portal allows schools to report details on their current arts staffing and instruction, as well as areas that they would like to strengthen. So this is one of the questions that does that. This is another question that will show up. So you'll be able to go through and list all of the arts disciplines that are being offered at your school through various classes. And then one of the questions is this here, where it asks you to identify what kind of opportunity or experience this is for your youth. So, okay, I'm going to pass it on over to Bradley.
What's up, y'all? To piggyback off of Anquanique, also, that might sound like, you know, hard distinctions to keep track of, but it is all already kept track of in the format that artlook is set. So it's not like you'll know if you're reaching out to a district or a school, you'll know if you're reaching out to an individual teaching artist or an arts organization, just from the way that artlook is formatted and how we try and help partners and schools set up their profiles. So don't don't think that's something that you have to retain and just know like you'll be able to figure it out. So on the partner profile side, a lot of the same similarities, you know, you'll work in tandem with making those connections with schools. We recommend, just like we do with schools, that partner organizations and or individuals themselves work as liaisons or identify a liaison within your organization. Somebody who will be that point of contact and who has, you know, extensive knowledge of your school-based programs that you offer, so that when schools are reaching out to your point of contact, somebody who can answer questions or can at least get the answers really quick, so that those relationships are built and they're built right away and they're, you know, they're effective. So it's important that your liaison is somebody who has that knowledge of the, you know, school-based education programs that y'all offer. Yeah, it's just a brief overlook of the partner portal. Some things that we want partners to think about. Equity is important. We want to make sure that there are diverse people in the room presenting and are representative of not just the organization, but of students who you'll work with. You know, are you putting, you know, people of color, Black, Indigenous people of color in the room? What does that look like for you? So something to think about is how often do teaching artists or program staff who identify as Black, Indigenous, or people of color directly delivering the program that you offer to students during the school year, you know? Or if that's like a need, something that you identify as like, you know, we don't have that, or we want that, you know, like what does that look like for you? So that's something to think about. Also, if you want to answer this next question in the chat, what financial support, if any, are you able to provide for your program or resource? So when I talked earlier about like things that you need or things that you're like interested in, sometimes for some people it's like, we have the knowledge or we have the know-how, we just don't have the funds, or, you know, we have the funds, we can completely run this, just give us a location, time, or like, what does that look like for you?
Great. And this slide just shows some of the, so these are the categories of disciplines that we have available on the map. And then there are a bunch of sub-disciplines that are listed as well. So these are not all of them, but these are just some of the sub-disciplines listed that partners and schools can choose from as a part of their offerings.
All right, so let me get artlook going here. You'll see at first we've got a familiar site. This is the artlook landing page. So I think probably most of you found out about this through our email listserv, and as we said in the email, we're kind of giving you a bit of a sneak preview here. So while the site is live, we would just appreciate some discretion in not showing this super widely to folks. If you know of other arts partners who are interested in the map, certainly feel free to loop them in and to put them in touch with us. The more the merrier as we move into this second year of artlook. So the site is, as you can see, it's got our AEC branding on it. It's got our wonderful partner photos here. And then you can scroll down and see some of the things that popped up in the PowerPoint, the school portal. This is where you log in to input your information as a school partner or as an arts partner. And, you know, a nice little blurb about what the site is. But you're not here to see the text, you're here to see the map. So let's give it a look-see. If you hit search, you'll go right into the map. And you can see right now, we have a number of little pins clustered where our first year partner districts are located in the greater Pittsburgh area. So they appear both in a map view and in a list view. And we had talked earlier about kind of the profile versus the what's happening now. Right now, this is displaying what's happening now. But if you're curious about what's been offered in previous years, this is where a lot of the information from the surveys live. So let's zoom into close to Kennywood here, and I'll show you what a school looks like. So let's say you're an arts partner and you're based in West Mifflin, and you're interested in partnering with Duquesne Elementary School. Well, what do they have going on? Let's take a look. So Duquesne, we've got their contact information, and we'll get their website on here as well. So that's another way that you can interface with school districts. All of that data that we've taken from PIMS and PDE is very neatly parsed out here on this school year data page. So some just like basic facts are front and center: the ratio of art instructors to students, the number of arts minutes per week, and the amount of students who have access to at least one arts course. This is part of the way that we're building equity into this process. We've got the instructors themselves listed below, and then you can see what Duquesne Elementary offers their students. They've got general music courses here. They've got some visual arts courses as well. For an elementary school, not super typical to have things like theater courses, but if they were to have those listed, then that would show up under theater. And they also have some partners listed. So they worked with us on some professional learning last year, and they also worked with Michelle King, the learning instigator here, for some PD and some resources. And if you're curious about where those partners are, if you see that Duquesne has worked with somebody that particularly excites you, you can even find those partners on the map as well. So the maps all kind of link together in this way, so you can see the school and the partner on the same page. And that helps not only find new partners, but also link you up with people who make geographic sense for you. You can find people who are right in your own community. So at the secondary level, the school profile takes account of the ways that secondary courses look different. And you can see here, we do have like the school's website link is live, and there's an arts liaison that you can contact if you're interested in talking to Woodland Hills staff. On the What's Happening Now page, there are arts disciplines, types of programs, and resources. So you can see Woodland Hills is looking for some culturally responsive arts ed. They're looking for remote learning assistance. And I think Adrian mentioned earlier, looking for SEL and Trinity. Woodland Hills is on the quest for that as well. If we look though at their secondary school courses, you can see it reflects instructional depth as opposed to instructional time. So if you're really interested in getting on the ground with those beginners in the arts, you can look and see what kind of courses offer an opportunity for that. If you're looking to work with an AP arts course and go really deep on something like Impressionism, you can find that information there as well. So there are some slight distinctions in the survey and in the way the profiles are displayed as to how the courses show up at different levels. And lastly, for schools, I'll just show the rest of the What's Happening Now page. So you can see the overview of program offerings here. This is where those disciplines come up. So this on the What's Happening Now page, that's kind of the sort of the front page of your Artlook profile as a school. And partners can tab through and say, oh, that's really cool. They've got a debate club there at Woodland Hills. We can connect with them. Or, you know, we've got a really awesome spoken word program here at One Hood, and we want to partner with Woodland Hills to bring some spoken word into their classrooms. They've got a program already, so we can hit the ground running. And then we'll take a look at our partners. So the view is very similar. We've got our pins dropped on the map where our folks are located. So if you are, if you're in PPS and you're looking for an arts partner near Lincoln, you could go ahead and find out, oh, Dreams of Hope is right around the corner from us. I'll actually show you our page since we've gotten all of our info on here, and then we'll keep it a little bit more close to the chest. You can see we've got our partner logo. We've got our primary education contact. Anquinique is listed here. There's a contact button right up top. So if you're a school looking to connect with a partner, this contact button will open an email window in another part of your browser. And then there's also a contact phone number for your partners as well. So the platform itself will automatically generate a report that shows everything that you have done in that school year and all the data that you've put in a very nice looking PDF. And if you've included a logo, your logo will appear at the top as well. So you can see here, we had 6 arts programs offered. We served 16 schools with those programs. We also show the racial and ethnic profile of those schools. So this is a good equity check. If you're really looking to increase your equity, you could say, oh, in our report last year, well, we served 84% white people. That's an awfully high percentage. We really want to reach more students of color. That gives you some good metrics to work with. You can see as well other student demographics that will appear on the report: low income, limited English, diverse learners, and then the average enrollment of the schools that you're serving. I know a lot of partners in Southwestern PA are very interested in reaching out to some rural schools and forming strong partnerships with those smaller schools that are a little bit farther flung. This is another metric you can use to kind of see how well you're meeting those marks.
Thank you so much, Colin. And I just want to give a shout out to all the schools and organizations, teaching artists who participated in our official pilot year, because they took a chance with us and got in with us early and helped us work out all of the kinks and was very patient with us as we worked out all of the kinks. We now have, profiles that are full on the map that we can view and start to see how this will function in real time once we have more partners and more schools on the map. So, we're doing our info sessions this week. And what we're hoping to do by August 27th, which is our deadline, is we want to have a list of committed schools and partners that we can include in our press release. So right in September, we're going to be doing our public launch, a public rollout of the map and of our intentions and what we hope to accomplish. And along with that press release, we want to be able to have a list of schools and partners who we know are committed to working with us for year 2. Recruitment will still continue, so people can absolutely still join the map and be a part of the survey process with us. But this August 27th deadline will ensure that that you're listed in that press release with us. Another important piece about this August 27th deadline is that if you are a partner that was considered a pending partner and you were listed by a school for the 2019-2020 school survey, so the partners and schools that are in the map now, they completed the 2019-2020 survey. So if you're a partner who was not on the map when they put that in, if we can get you in by the 27th, that means for that 2019-2020 profile or for that survey, that all of your data will show up as well. And yes, PSO is one of those partners. So just to be mindful of that. It's just like a little caveat there. So yes, pending partners. So September 1st to 11th, pending partners from previous year in or out, we need to know. And then we're going to do our public launch and rollout. This is actually Arts and Education Week in September. And then the deadline for schools to commit to joining for this year will be September 27th. So this is an important deadline for schools to remember, as that if we are going to be able to include your survey and your profile in the map for this year, we need to know by the 27th so that our partners at Ingenuity can build all the back end and get the surveys prepared. And then in October is when the school portal will open. So at that point, you'll be able to go in and complete your survey, and then that will ultimately generate your profile on the map. So there are several steps to getting from here to there. But I think one of the most important things you want folks to take away with today also is that our team is here. So at no point in time, if you have questions or if there are snags or if things are confusing, we are absolutely here to answer your questions. We have a ton of resources to help you share this with your teams, with your board, whoever your decision makers are. We can support that process for you as well. But you can also reach us here with our contact info. Colin and I have Calendly links, so you can click those links and just schedule a meeting with us anytime. And you can also reach us by email